Hello there, and welcome to Women's Business.
My name is Dr. Marianne Shallcross Smith, known to most as Dr. Daycare, and this is my co-host, Amy Vogel. We'd like to welcome you to our mentoring program designed to educate our community on issues facing working women. We will be speaking to our guests in the areas of art, sciences, health, education, law, medicine, politics, community service, military, and business.
The goal of the show is to provide information that comes only from personal experience and to pass this information down to our daughters, nieces, neighbors, family, and friends. Much of the content will relate to the guest speaker's journey in their profession, what they have learned most about this process, and what they wished they had known before this journey began. Since women-owned businesses are the fastest growing sector of our economy, my guests will close with what lesson they would like to pass on to the viewing audience.
I'd like to welcome from College Unbound, Jill Van Leesten. How are you, Jill?
Thank you. How are you?
Good. We met a few months ago over at Dr. Daycare. I was looking for some alternatives, some of my staff to return to school. I'm a big advocate of education. And you came and spoke with me and one of my staff members, and I was turned on to the whole program. It's absolutely amazing, amazing program. So thank you so much for being on Women's Business with Marianne and Amy today.
Thank you. I appreciate
Welcome.
it.
So
Thank you.
just tell the listening audience what College Unbound is all about.
College Unbound is such a unique opportunity for adults that started college but did not finish. We have a pretty long mission, but the main point of our mission is to reinvest higher ed for the unrepresented returning adults. What we do is the learning that is done through College Unbound is project-based learning. The uniqueness about it is that we say we're high touch, high tech. Meaning that high touch because you have that one-on-one academic advisor that works with you on your project, and then high tech because it's online. Right now we are located at the Met, so the Met School in Providence turns into a college campus on Monday evenings and Wednesday evenings.
Great use of a facility.
Yes, yes, it's
Teenagers
beautiful.
during the day and adult learners
right.
at night.
That's right.
We got the lights on, you got the foundation, you got the classrooms.
That's right.
That's a great use of space.
That's right.
That whole thing when you told me that was like, my God, they're going in the right direction.
Yeah.
We're not rebuilding another building. We're not starting from scratch. We're not
Correct.
trying to raise money. The building's there and we're giving it use.
Correct.
Amazing, amazing.
So what's real unique about it is Dr. Dennis Litkey, who started the Met 20 years ago, started College Unbound in 2009, fall of 2009.
So it's a Rhode Island-based organization, or is
Yes,
it national?
it is. It's Rhode Island. Right now, as far as on May 20th of 2015, we were voted in as the 13th college in the state of Rhode Island, and we're working on accreditation. So that will occur probably in about the next 3 years.
Oh, that is wonderful.
Yeah.
That is so very cool.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I was one of, many years ago, I was one of those students you talked about. Went to college right out of Lincoln High School.
Yeah.
Actually was totally shaking in my boots, oh my, I wasn't ready for this. And spent a semester at, back then it was called Reject, Rhode Island Junior College,
Okay.
great college. I love the name now, CCRI. Spent a whole semester and said, truly for an 18-year-old, it was extremely overwhelming. My parents did not prepare me for this in any way, shape, or form to go off to college, which was right down the street, 10,
Right.
15 minutes, but
Right.
it could have been 10 or 15 hours. So what I chose to do was drop out of college, get married, and have a baby.
Right.
So, and here I am, 19, 20 years old, in a very different, but honestly, that felt safer for me.
Right.
So, I mean, this program, and all the time I'm running a home-based daycare, meeting people every day, professional people, professors at school, doctors, people who worked in restaurants, tons and tons of professional people. And one theme I found, they all had degrees. They all had degrees. And I had to think, how is this ever going to happen to me?
That's
I've already
right.
picked a track.
That's right.
If this was only here 30, 40 years ago, but it's here today, right?
It's here today. That's right. And that's
Power
what's
of the
so
internet, too. You gotta love it.
Exactly. And I think what's really interesting is that a lot of people, we used to say it's the best kept secret, but you don't want this to be a secret, right?
No.
So what we do is we recruit within the community. We work with Native American Indians. We're also in the prison. We have a what's called the Prison Bridge program. We're in the prison where we have about 80 students inside and about 20 outside. We have cohorts. What's really nice about this is that you meet only once a week.
Yes.
You meet once a week, 5:30 to 8:30.
Amazing.
You have a cohort, so you come to the Justice Center. We provide food, babysitting. We try to cut all the barriers that would have a person come to school. And then we're right there in the city. You only meet, like I said, 5:30 to 8:30, but there's a lot of work after that. I mean, we would say put at least about 20 hours a week because there's a lot of research, a lot of reading, there's rigor. And we do have what we call the Big 10. And the Big 10, someone said it was kind of like soft skills, but it's pretty much the things that adults need in order to succeed, especially in the workplace. And so if you don't mind, I'd like to share what the Big 10 are.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have the intercultural engagement, critical thinking, communication, which is the oral and written and visual, problem solving, accountability, collaboration, creativity, reflection, resilience, and advocacy for self and others. And as soon as we have an orientation, I pull this out and I let them know that they have started one of the Big 10s, and that's advocating for themselves by coming in and hearing about College Unbound.
Huge.
Yeah.
Huge.
And the nice thing is you do have to have, because it's an adult completion program, you do have to have 9 college credits or more in order to get started.
From another college or
exactly.
university.
So that was the key. So they had to leave 9 credits on because Representative McNamara taught me about this at the SBA meeting last winter. But they had president had to leave 9 credits on the table. So to get into College Unbound, you leave 9 credits on the table, and you're certainly more than welcomed into the whole program.
Exactly. And we have students that have they've come to us with 90 credits, 80 credits. So right now we partner with Charter Oak State College, and with that's how people can get their financial aid, Pell Grants,
Where
and
is
things
that
of that
college?
nature. It's in New Britain, Connecticut.
Yeah.
Oh, very nice.
So we partner with them, and they were the college that really seemed to have an understanding of what we needed, what our needs were in order for the adults to be successful.
Now, is that college accredited? Or?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
Oh, yes, it is.
So
It's
their
accredited.
diploma comes from,
Charter Oak.
so that's, okay, wow. right.
And we do have students that have gone on, they're working on their masters as we speak right now.
that's
Great.
Amazing.
That's wonderful.
We had one of our students who graduated from Charter Oak / College Unbound, just graduated 2 weeks ago with her master's.
That's wonderful. What a
Yeah.
great story.
Isn't it? And it's all to the student's pace. I like to say the accountability. You got to be really accountable to yourself on this because most people coming in who have probably left 9 credits or more on the table, they're probably in a very different part of their life. So they have to have the accountability to themselves to continue this education.
Yes.
And the support that, as I hear when we talked months ago, about the support that your organization gives the student, I mean, it's a win-win formula.
It really is. And after a while, sometimes we have academic advisors that meet with the students and that work with them on their project work in their classwork. And a lot of times, you know, the students, they range from 25 up to 60.
Oh, wow.
So you do have, it's really nice.
That is nice.
And what's really interesting is that when the students come to us, they are anxious, you know, no matter what age, they're nervous. It's like, you know, freshman year all over again, no matter how many credits they came in with. So it's something new and different, but because they're working on something that they have a passion for, and it's their project, and it's something they've always wanted to do, after a while, you don't feel like you're in school, but you do have to do the research, the papers, the meeting with your academic advisor. We have to be full-time, it's 2 courses every 8 weeks.
Okay.
And then after the 8th week, you do your exhibition, so you share what you've learned and what you've gathered
Do you
around
have
your
to
project.
be a full-time student, or could you do it part-time?
No, you can do it part-time. We do have some that start part-time. I do have some students that have anxiety-wise, so it's like, okay, let's just start part-time. You'll do 1 class every 8 weeks, so we go ahead and do that.
And so, now, when did I go? 1996, when I first started my freshman year. I think one of the toughest decisions was picking your major. 17, 18 years old, and they're like, you're going to pick your major, and this is going to be your career forever. Obviously, out of all majors you pick and how many people actually do that is, I'm sure the percentage is very low. So how do they go and pick their major if you don't have all the colleges set up with, like, how does that work? So if you have a engineer or a psychology or political science or math, like, are there many majors, or is it very specific?
It's specific. We have organization community studies.
Uh-huh.
That major will pull as many credits. So if you took English 101 10, 20 years ago, you don't have to take that again.
Okay.
So we have organization community studies, and in that we have a lot of people that are in the social service field, early childhood education. Now, we don't provide nursing degrees or teaching certificates, but we do have some people that come to us, I'll be very honest with you, that come to us that want to be a teacher, but you cannot earn a teaching certificate, but they need a degree.
Yep.
They want to get their degree at the end of the day. So then they say, you know what, Jill, you know, we talk them through it, and it's not for everyone. If they want to become a teacher, I let them know that this is not, you know, where you could be as far as getting a certificate.
So they can't get a certification.
Certification.
To be a teacher.
Right.
But they can get the early childhood degree. They can get the degree.
They can get a degree.
You think eventually you'll have the certification?
I think so. Yes, I know that's something that Dennis is working on.
Yeah.
But your project can be around, you know, the curriculum, or your project can be around that area that you're interested in. So then when you go to your next level with your master's, or you want to go ahead and work on getting a certification, you'll have a portfolio to show.
I was going to say, let's talk about a little bit about the fear factor. How can we get people in? Because, I mean,
I know.
I wonder, in families as a culture, and they've heard their parents or their grandparents talk about education, put education down.
Yeah.
As you know, I wrote this book on for preschoolers that really boosts education, and so they're talking college, they're talking freshmen, they're talking all those the language of graduation. But I find so many people I come across to this day are fearful to go to college. I mean, I need to tell you, with a doctorate degree, if I took a CPR course and know there's a test at the end, I do that whole 2 hours taking CPR, I'm thinking about the test at the end. Like, what do we do to get rid of that fear? Like, that would block more people in.
I think so too. I know one thing that I see that's happening, that it hasn't really been something that I created, just kind of happened organically, is the fact that when people call me, or when they come to an orientation, they ask to meet with me one-on-one.
Great.
So a lot of them do ask to meet with me one-on-one because of personal things. For instance, someone may not be able to get their official transcript because they owe the school money. So we can talk about ways to pay that back, as far as calling the school. Just as simple as I had someone in my office picking up the phone and calling the school for that individual. Isn't that something?
That's amazing.
It was interesting, but sometimes it's just kind of like being there and pushing the person. The support is really needed.
Sometimes it's hard for them to pick up that phone and ask for that.
The anxiety just to pick up the phone was amazing.
A lot of barriers for a lot of people, and intelligent people too.
Yes.
Intelligent people.
Very intelligent.
Don't have that social emotional intelligence.
That's
You know
right.
what I mean?
That's
so
right.
But they got the brains that could
That's right.
build a house or put an engineering project together.
Exactly.
Wow.
So when I experienced that, when that person came to my office, I've been with College Unbound now for 2 years as a recruitment director. When that happened, I said, wow, okay, this is big. So when people would call and ask to meet with me, I meet people at Dunkin' Donuts, Starbucks. I don't need any more donuts, but I'll...
Jill, you blow my mind. I need to tell you.
But if someone's willing to buy your donut,
you know what I'm saying? I'm going to take it.
Chocolate cover.
Yes, that's mine.
Yeah, I got
Coffee
that.
white.
Yeah. I'll go to daycare centers. We've done
will.
2 sessions where I would, for the whole staff, we'll do pizza and soda.
great.
And I mean, if there's someone that's interested, I am ready to spread the
That's
word.
great.
She is.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah. I'm like Dennis calls me the Energizer Bunny. I'm just like
You are.
all over the place. Yeah.
Your recruitment in itself, you really, really are. You make the passageway a lot easier to walk into the whole process.
Thank you.
Ask Amy, no matter where I go, I'm talking about this program. I feel like I've recruited a lot of people, but I don't know how people have, I'm like, you gotta go here, you gotta go here. This is what, yesterday is yesterday, 30 years ago.
Right.
It just is much more of a, it's very good for people who put left credits on the table.
That's right.
And definitely are into their career. I always wanted that degree. I know there's someone from my office. Every time we sit down in her review every year, and she didn't want me saying this, I'll use her name. Her whole goal and her heart is like, I just wish I had my degree. I'm like, you can get your degree now.
That's
you
right.
can.
That's right.
That's a part of you that wants to be accomplished and complete. Do it. Just do it. And this program, College Unbound, seems like it will really work for, and also for families. If they're home with a couple of kids or husbands, a significant other, it just seems like it embraces all those pieces.
That's right.
Now, are they considering making this a national program?
I'm sure eventually they will. We're
Okay.
just trying to, this accreditation process is
Yeah,
a lot.
Grueling, I'm sure.
So
So there's
I'm
no other
sure.
state that does something similar to this?
No, there are about, I believe, 6 colleges that have adult completion programs where your credits don't expire, things of that nature.
Got it.
But as far as the project-based piece and the individualization that we have with our students,
Yep.
we're pretty unique.
And how many students are in a cohort at a time?
About 15, about
nice.
15 to 18.
And
Mhm.
if, let's say you have 12 credits that you bring forward, how long would it take you to, do you do associates or bachelors? How does it
We
work?
do associates and bachelors, but
Okay.
I do tell everyone when they come to me and they apply for that associates that they will be coming back for their bachelors.
Yeah.
So I'm a big cheerleader. We're all a big cheerleader for that. So we have associates, bachelors. We have 58 that have graduated so far. We have 18 that are getting ready to graduate this Saturday.
Oh, great.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
amazing.
So we're really, we're small but mighty. you
Yeah,
know,
no, that's
small but
wonderful.
You're
mighty.
going to grow. You're definitely.
Oh, yeah,
This word gets out.
Yes,
You're going to grow. You really are.
yes,
You're meeting people's needs.
yes,
You're meeting the needs of people,
we are.
especially people who return to college.
How about the advisors? Where are they from? Because I'm assuming this is this their full-time job, or are they like?
This is their full-time job. We
Okay.
do have we have 2 advisors. 2 advisors that are part-time. No, 3 advisors that are part-time.
Okay.
The rest are full-time. We do have some that have graduated from College Unbound that are actually advisors.
That's great.
Yeah, isn't that great?
Mhm.
So we do have advisors, and then advisors from within the community with a degree, but they understand our philosophy, they understand our mission, and they understand the fact that we have to really encourage our students to keep moving, keep pushing. It's okay, keep writing, keep researching,
Yep.
because a lot of them have been out of school for so long.
Right.
And what I also find really wonderful is that, just want to kind of go on, we do have men and women, of course, in the program, but to go on the women's side, because they bring their children, it's really nice seeing how their children react when they see that their mother is going to college. They're like, are we going to college tonight, Mommy? I mean, it's like so beautiful, So it's talk about when you educate a woman, you educate a community.
You do.
And so we had this woman came in, and not only did she get her daughter, but her daughter's husband and her cousin. So it's like they're pulling in family members.
I didn't realize you did the child care aspect of it. So talk about taking a
Yes.
big pressure off of parents.
Yes.
And financial pressure. Because
Yes.
you can walk out the door for class for 3 hours and it's going to cost you $30.
Exactly.
So you have actually, once again, put money in people's pockets.
And the food we provide dinner.
This is like, wow, it even gets better and,
And how
better.
how do the students pay for it? Is there financial aid?
Yes, financial aid. The majority of our students do have they are eligible for Pell, but we do have the subsidized, unsubsidized. They go through FAFSA. We
They
work
work
help
with
them through that. Yeah.
Oh, that's great.
I was yesterday in a backyard cookout and 3 kids to be seniors. So we started talking, like, if I could talk education, I'll just talk it. And the 3 kids I was talking about education, going to be seniors next year. I'm like, what do you think about now? College, you got to start thinking about that.
Right.
And 3 of them literally said to me, we can't afford college. So, I love community CCRI. That's where I got my beginning. It's one of the
Yes.
best colleges. So
That's
the
right.
3 of them are choosing to go to CCRI.
That's right.
However, college education, if they go for 2 years and off to a 4-year college, you're walking out with $100,000 to $150,000 in debt.
Yes.
It's a lot of money.
It is. It is a
You
lot
could
of
buy
money.
a house for that.
That's right.
And we're putting, and not to say college is not worth it. I totally believe college is worth it. You'll get the money back over the years. But for a 22-year-old to have that kind of debt, especially if their families can afford it, because we just came out of a recession.
Right.
So let's talk about the price of your program.
Right.
It's amazing.
Right. The college they've agreed not to go over $10,000.
That's amazing.
For a
So-
bachelor's degree.
But bachelor's is actually
4 years?
bachelor's.
In 4
that
years?
correct?
It's $10,000 within. So it's
A year.
$10,000 a year.
Okay, thank
Yes,
you.
yes,
I was like,
yes.
4 years, 10 grand. Wow. That's
And then what we do is we do have some people that they come in and they have 50-something credits
Yep.
from CCRI and they're shy of getting 60. We always say, go ahead and finish getting those couple of classes and because the more credits you bring in, the better.
Right.
and if they're like on the fence, so I say, okay, if you're on the fence, if you want to finish, getting your associates, because you're still saving money,
Right, yes.
The other piece is that I didn't bring up. Not only are we project based, but we also have classes what's called portfolio prior learning assessment, where your life experience can equal college credit.
Oh, wow.
You take a course, and then you then have college credit for that. And then you can also take the CLEP exam. We do have some people who are fluent in Spanish and they want to take Spanish 1 and 2. You can get 12 college credits for taking Spanish, and then other courses too. So there's other ways where you can pull and get your credits.
From. Now, how do you associate an amount of credits for life experience? Like, what kind of
That
evaluation tool do you use for that?
Right. That's all on the professor.
Okay.
What they do, but the way it's set up is they ask the student to gather certificates, trainings, anything and everything that they have done in their past. And then when they're in that class, they have to find a curriculum or a class that matches what they've done. So that's a bunch of reading, a bunch of research. It's a lot of work. But it's amazing the outcome when the students are able to pull all this material together. So whether they apply with me that day or not, I say, if you think about attending this school, any type of training, anything you've ever done, start gathering it now and put it in a box. If you don't remember, if you don't have the form, call the place. Like, at least start, because eventually you might want to take that class. Now, some people come in with 90 credits. They don't really need to take that class because you only need 120 to graduate. So some people say, well, Jill, I don't really want, I just want to graduate.
Yeah.
So, okay, that's fine. But there's some people that do take advantage of that prior learning assessment.
That's great.
And the whole concept of cohorts, that's how I got my doctorate, I'll be honest with you, compared to going to school, sitting in a class and leaving at 9:30 to go home. You don't really make relationships.
That's right.
But when you go in they're like your consultants for the rest of your life.
Yes.
I pick up the phone, call Connecticut, Massachusetts, Canada,
Yeah.
like what's going on from early childhood education. You certainly become their consultant, free consultant too. It's amazing the connections and people when you start working that intimately with people in an educational setting. I think that's really going to take over all types of
I think so too.
learning processes. We all need to be at the table at the same time with all our wonderful ideas.
Right. I think so too. And I think the other thing too is just the level of communication. It's like it's a family. I mean, we really truly see ourselves as a family. And then you have a lot of networking. There's a lot of networking in that room because there's a lot of creative people.
I can see it.
Yeah, it's a lot of networking that goes on during our cohorts.
That's
And
amazing.
then living in Rhode Island and networking, that's like you're related. So.
Do you have to be a Rhode Island resident to be involved in this program, or is it?
Oh, good question.
Well, right now, because we have at the Met in the Justice Building, and it's not, I hate to say seat time, but that 5:30 to 8:30 is very important. You're meeting with your academic advisor, that's also very important. So it is, if you are in the Massachusetts area or Connecticut area, but we have majority of our students are from Rhode Island because of the travel, I
That's
guess.
amazing.
Yeah.
That is quite an impressive program.
I knew you'd be impressed. Isn't that amazing?
It also, it gives opportunity that maybe someone never thought they had.
That's right.
Which is wonderful.
That's right.
Yes, Amy, yes.
That's right.
Yeah.
It really does. It really does. People they always say, why didn't I know about this, or why didn't I hear about this? But the word is definitely getting out.
I'm so glad Representative McNamara came to my workshop that day, and there was probably 40 people in there, and he spent a good 2 minutes talking about it. I'm like, what are you talking about, Rep? He's like, no, it's really out there. It's really out there. I'm like, wow, and that's why I contacted you. And
Yes.
it's like you opened up a whole new door to education, really.
Right.
And how long has the program been around for?
Since 2009.
Oh, so it's fairly new.
Yeah,
It's
it
really
is.
new.
Mm-hmm.
That's great.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
And how many students do you accept a year? Is it by year or by 8-week session?
Pretty much we have, all together, we have about 72 students.
Right.
So there are some, if they're not graduating, depending on how many come in, we try to keep it up to at least the 70. But because we're growing, we need to, eventually hire more academic advisors. That number is definitely going to start growing each year. But right now, as far as what we can handle, we have about, I would say right now we have 64.
That's great.
And so far, as far as bringing people in, we have about 27 that have applied so far.
That's great. That's
I
wonderful.
hate to bring this up, but we got like 2 minutes left, but how about the dropout rate?
Right now we have we have a 80% graduation rate.
That's great.
Isn't that great? As far as the dropout rate, we have for this year, I know we've had 2 students based on personal and health that
They
had to
can
leave.
reapply,
But
right?
actually we have one that's coming back.
That's great.
So it's really good because we there's always that window of opportunity. We meet the student where they're at. A lot of times if they say that they have to, stop at some point, it's usually because of personal health, things of that nature. So.
That's wonderful.
They offer babysitting.
I know.
How did I miss that part? Now I can hope you and talk more about it. Like, don't tell me you have to get a babysitter. They offer it for you.
And
My
are you on a
gosh.
bus line as well?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
yes,
cool.
we are.
That's right located.
Yes, right
like,
on Public Street.
Yeah, right.
That's
on-
great.
Yeah.
Right next door to CCRI.
Yeah, like you're back to back there,
Yeah.
the hospital.
Oh, in
yeah.
Providence?
Mhm.
Oh, I
Yeah.
didn't realize that was over there. Has it always been there?
Yeah, for
It's been
20
here
years.
for a while,
yeah.
yeah.
That's how much I know.
Aim, you got to get a little bit further out.
I gotta get out.
Really?
Come visit us.
Yes.
We have an
Love
open
to.
house too. Our next open house is going to be June 16th, and then we
Write that
have one
down.
on June 28th. And here, I'll give you this card.
Oh, thank you.
June 16th and June 20th.
We have them
I'd
all
love to
throughout
go
the
visit.
summer.
Oh, wow.
That is very great.
And we serve pizza, salad, so to bring the kids, anyone, and we talk about College Unbound.
That's awesome.
Now, is there like an open date that they start, or can people come in throughout the year? Or they have to start in September and go all the way to.
They can. We have sessions start in August, the
Okay.
3rd week of August, but we do have some people that are going to possibly start in October or January.
So
It's
it
good
will-
to start. Yeah, it's
So
good
it's
to
an
start.
8 week cycle.
Yeah, but it's good to start if you can start in the fall. That's
Right.
great. If not, for instance, the individual at your place might start in January. So we do. We want to like I said, meet the student where they are
That's great.
and not have too much pressure on them.
That's wonderful. Well, it sounds like an
Well,
amazing program.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Thank you,
That's
thank you.
wonderful.
Jill, all I can say is you got like the best job in the world.
I love it. I love my job.
Really?
I love my job.
Recruiting
I do.
people to get educated
Yes.
and giving them something that they can financially afford in childcare
That's
and
right.
helping them get their transcripts.
That's right.
Like, it's a beautiful book to be written. It's
That's right.
amazing.
I'm
we
a
all
cheerleader.
talk about
That's
these things
good.
in human services. Transportation, you got that figured out. What everything we sit down and talk about in committees sometimes they get put on the shelf.
Right.
You have actually, I'll use the word, attacked all those,
Yes.
worked it through, come up with solutions, and people get an education.
Yes, we have to. At the end of the day,
it's
if you
amazing.
truly want to help, you have to look at as far as the holistic aspect of the individual,
Yes.
the family, and we're not miracle workers, but we do try our best.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And the listening audience, the key is to talk positively about education to your
Yes.
children.
Yes.
Keep it very positive. And they also one day will become college educated. There's the military, there's technical school, whatever
right.
it is. Keep an open mind of education in your family, and it will happen. But this is an amazing program. I like it more now than I even did a few months ago. Anything you want to end with?
I appreciate your enthusiasm.
Oh, I love
I
it.
really.
I
It
was a
was
night.
great.
Keep in mind, I went back when she was a year old,
Yeah.
so I had to go nights and weekends. And there's a whole other story about taking time away from your kids.
Right,
because
that's right.
That's a whole
That's a
other
whole nother
story.
story.
And here you were. Anyhow, that's a whole
Yeah,
nother- but anyhow,
but I
yeah.
just appreciate the opportunity and just helping me get the word out.
No, anytime, anytime. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being on the show.
Thank you so much. Thank you.